And hello out there in internet land or Facebook land or YouTube land, wherever you happen to be watching this today. We're on the online art show brought to you by the Diocesan Environment Network, or DEN for short. And it is the Hope and Inspiration Art Show. And today we're starting off with our presentation of talking about the Artist of the Week. And our featured artist this week is none other than New Brunswick native Dale Cook. Dale, thanks for joining us today and agreeing to do this interview. I have to admit, I wasn't that familiar with your work to start off, but so I kind of stalked you on the internet. Don't get worried, I wasn't outside your kitchen window. I wasn't outside your kitchen window or anything. But I was looking at some of your work on Facebook, and I have to say, your story of how you started to paint really intrigued me. And to see the scope of work that you have today, and you have three different paintings there behind you, but to see the different artwork that it's evolved into from your start, can you just tell us what your background is and how you started to paint?
My background was business. I was home raising the kids, and my neighbor came home with some toll painting that she had taken a class to do, and it's like, this is awesome. I loved it. And that was back in the 80s, and toll painting was the big thing, all the folk art painting. So I thought, well, I'll take a class. And I started doing that, and I absolutely loved it. That was really my first introduction to painting. So I just kept taking classes and then started improvising and doing my own work. Then I started expanding out of that and taking fine art classes, and I'd buy books and videos and learn from online videos. It was just, I was really hungry to learn more, so I just kept studying and studying and studying, and I will continue to study. I love it.
Good. So how does your artwork relate to the environment?
As far as the environment goes, I love painting on plein air, so I like to paint outside. When I'm outside, you can't help but feel this sense of awe and gratitude when you're there. We're so blessed that we can stand outside and there's fresh air that we can breathe, healthy trees. You're standing by these shores that are so lovely. So we're really very, very lucky. It was kind of a eureka moment one day. It was like, okay, I think I'll go out into nature. And I'm standing there, and it's like, I'm not out in nature. I am part of nature. You know, we've got the same basic molecules, and I think our spirit senses that connection. So it's it feels right when I'm outside painting. So when I paint, my intention is to show the beauty that I see and what I experience when I'm out there. So I just hope we don't jeopardize what we have, because it's truly a gift to be able to live here and experience it.
Yeah, we really are blessed. It really is a beautiful place that we live. So what do you hope that people get from this project, this art show?
Well, picture's worth 1,000 words. So just sometimes we just need those visual clues to bring back memories of, you know, what it was like when we were kids running along a beach, be able to do that, or walking through the woods and smell the pine. It's just a visual clue to remind people of what's really important and what is at risk. So that's what I hope people will get.
And what do you hope to get out of this project?
It's not in my nature to lobby governments or protests or go to rallies for the environment. That's just not who I am. But in my way, it's my way of giving something towards the cause, and you know, evoking those memories. So it's just, for me, it's my way of giving to the environment.
Yeah, nice. So why do you paint?
Why do I paint? You know, I asked myself this a little while ago. Oh my gosh, what my life would be so different if I didn't paint. I'd be exercising more. I'd probably spend more time in the kitchen. I'd spend more time with my family. It's not a moneymaker, and it's definitely not an ego boost, because artists are their own worst critics. We're never ever happy with our own paintings.
Yeah.
But it comes down to one thing. When I paint, I feel alive. It's just there's something that I feel excited. I'll have music on, and I'll stand back and I'll like, wow, this is so much fun, and I'll dance, I'll jump around, and I just really inside. It just makes my heart soar. I love it so much. So yeah, makes me feel alive.
Yeah. So what are you currently working on? You have 3 paintings there behind you. Are those current projects, or are those past projects, or?
Those are my pieces for that I created for the Environmental Network show, and I've got quite a few more hanging around here. But I've got 2 shows coming up next summer, so I've got to start preparing for that. One in Grand Manan called Sand in Our Shoes, and another one in Tatamagouche called Water's Edge, and they'll all be scenes from the coastline around the maritime shores.
Oh, nice. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given as an artist?
Oh, given lots of advice. I would say one is paint from life. When we start out, it's kind of intimidating to do that. So we'll take a photograph or we'll copy someone else's work. When you start painting from life and you have it right in front of you, or you're outside, there's an immediacy. You stop copying what's there, and you're able to extract something different. A camera will put everything in focus, and it'll blow out the lights and darken the shadows, when your eyes are so much better at seeing things. But your eyes will, and your mind will focus on, what is it I really want to say about that piece? And it'll kind of ignore everything else. So painting from life is absolutely crucial. The other thing people say is paint what you love, paint from your heart. And I didn't get that for the longest time. And it was kind of a big moment when I figured out, it's like, paint what I feel. How do I feel about this subject? Is it nostalgic? Is it funny? Is it powerful? I went to Lewisburg, and the waves, it was a wild day. In fact, I was with our friend Marion, and the waves hitting the shore. This is from Lewisburg, and that's from Lewisburg.
Oh.
And you just felt that power. So yeah, that's, you want to sort of put what you feel into it. And the other one that I came up, that I tell people, is paint for yourself. If you're not happy with what's on your canvas, if you don't feel really excited and say, wow, that's really good, I want to have that on my own wall, then you haven't quite made it. Like, yeah, it might be okay for somebody, because but if you really are excited about it yourself and you take it on your own wall, then I think the buyer will see that too.
Yeah. So now I know you're a mother of 3.
Yes.
Now, I wouldn't ask you who your favorite child is, but I want to ask you, what's your favorite artwork?
My favorite artwork, as in terms of the style, I would say narrative artwork. I love paintings that tell a story. And you and I were talking earlier about my favorite painting, Resilience, which is in the show. And if I can go into a little bit more detail about it, it was a gentleman I met that had a business. Had been in the family for 6 years. Or sorry, he'd been in the family for 6 generations. And because of changes of where he was, he thought he'd have to close the business. And we'd had a long talk about it. And in the meantime, I was taking pictures of him, and I asked him, could I take pictures? Because I love doing portraits as well. Took a picture. I love this one shot I did of it. And was painting it, and I would sort of name the painting ahead of time just to give me a focus of how I felt about it. And I called it Letting Go. And as I'm working on it, I am working on the mouth, and it's like there's the tiniest little bit of a smile in the image that I'm working for. It's like, this is not the face of a defeated man. This is someone who's lived a life, but he's not ready to give up. And I just couldn't keep it with that name. So I called it Resilience. Oh. And it's very appropriate for 2020.
It is.
Yeah. And the other type of painting, I love painting water. I live near the water, I've spent my life near the water, and I get excited painting water, as you can see.
It is. Your work is really beautiful, Dale. And thanks for taking the time to do this interview with us today. The show is called Hope and Inspiration, and it runs from November the 6th to December the 6th. So if you can't buy some art, at least go online and look at some of this beautiful stuff and get inspired by some of the beautiful work that's on there. Next week, we're going to have on as our featured artist. It's going to be the Dartmouth artist, Wendy Beaver. So God bless everybody. And Dale, thanks a lot for joining us today. Take care.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.